Right. Hello, everybody. Michelle Holling-Brooks here. I'm the creator of the Sacred Witness Oracle and the founder of Unbridled Change. And I am super excited to be in this space live with those of you that are members of the Sacred Witness Circle, being in here, joining us together where we can interact and kind of be together a little bit. Hello. I'd like to see all these little faces again that I haven't seen in a while. Hello, Diane. Hello, Carol. Lisette and Jalen, all the fun stuff. We are gathering together on this equinox. It is a pretty cool one, if I must say so. I'll give a little bit of info about just kind of what makes this one a little bit different than other equinoxes for March and what that weather is. And then we'll also be doing a card draw reading for how to work with cultivating greater balance and trust in that ebb and that flow of when to be in motion and then also when to just be and be in that stillness and that place of reflection and receiving and when to be in that ebb and flow of gathering. I think we've got some people in the waiting room too. I don't remember who. All that good stuff. Okay, so before we dive in to all of that good stuff, I had intended to do a drumming and like kind of a rattle ceremony, but Zoom wants to be smarter than me and it wants to take out my rattle, so it will let it do like one or two things and then it stops letting you hear the rattle. So I'm gonna try to guide you through the drumming, and we can do it on yourself, and you can work on your chest, you can do it on your thighs, all that good stuff. And sorry I don't have a rattle to guide with you through it, but we will work it. We'll be in that ebb and that flow. So we are working with all those fun things. What was I gonna say? There was something else in here. I was getting a little bit of feedback on my side with all the fun things. So give me a second. Is that a little better on the audio? Is that cleaner? No. Does it still have feedback on your side, or is it just me?
Just a tiny bit of feedback.
Yeah. Tighten it up. Come on, Zoom gods. Let's get together and do its thing. So hopefully it'll chill itself out. If it gets too bad, let me know and I can play with my microphone a little bit more and see where it goes. So just a couple upcoming things just to make you aware of, that we have a new mindfulness and meditation class that I run 6-week cycles on, and the new 6-week cycles getting ready to start next Monday. And this one's all about the 6 different major components in trauma-informed contemplation. So that specific type of mindfulness and meditation where you're really talking to your body and mixing it with some somatic work and what does that look like? So that's the next 6 weeks on Mondays is when that class is. It's got a sliding fee scale payable by the proceeds of things like this. So thank you all for helping to make that sliding fee scale possible. And so if that's interesting you and you want to have a nice little beautiful container, we'll be practicing. The first week is all about the willingness to become into our present moment, why we don't want to, how do we help lovingly set that up. Then the art of sacred listening, diet, how to befriend the mind. The mind is not the problem. We need to bring the mind in out of the cold and let it come to the heart. That's a little bit, because I could spend 6 weeks, 6 months on metta itself, type of meditation or loving kindness meditation, as we like to say in the West. So what is that specific type of meditation style, how you can add it in. And then kind of a wrap-up week where it puts it all together and then that's those skills off to you. So if that sounds like an interest, you can check that out and join us over in that space. Also, we have in probably the end of April, first part of May, I'll start advertising it here shortly, is we're going to have our first series of the Sacred Witness Healing Workshop Series, and we're going to start with the body beam. And so that's going to be a series of 4 workshops, probably on Friday afternoons, and in which we will be working through section 2 of trauma-informed enlightenment / the body beam section of this, and guiding, doing the different practices together, working with me in that space. It's beautiful workshops, and I love doing them, and I can't wait to bring it more live into action. So if that's something that interests you, definitely be on the lookout for that. Okay, that's my public service announcements. Now, let's dive in to the equinox energies. So, side note, I love the equinox energies. I like the solstices too, but the equinoxes are some of my absolute favorite energies because they do bring in that welcoming of the pause and the balance. For those of you who don't know, I'm a traditional Chinese medicine 5 elements practitioner too. And so I work very much in that system. And the solstices, each element has its own season or rhythm. And the solstices and the equinoxes belong to the earth element. And so that earth element is about balance, nurturing, support. It is our life essence, our each individual frequency of who we are. It's the actual blood of ourselves. The fire element is the movement of that blood and the creation of that blood, but the actual life essence, the blood, the light within us belongs to the earth element. And so each of these 4 moments in between the seasons, the equinoxes and the solstices, they remind us to pause, to tune back in to us, the essence of us. Who are we? What is our guidance? Who are we becoming? Who have we been? And be in that moment of pause before we go into that next rhythm. So for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we are going into spring. So we're coming out of that stillness of water and we're starting to go into that up and out. So like the roots of that little seed pod are digging further in and the trunk is starting to come its way up and it's trying to break out through the surface. So there's a lot of push and drive energy that comes in with this springtime transition. And that can be amazing. And it can also be sometimes we feel like we're just pushing to push and we don't quite know where we're going and what are we up to. Sometimes we want to stay in that little cocoon a little bit longer. We don't want to open up and start to move and we don't know where we're moving or why we're moving or what we're up to. I was feeling into my own processes. It's like I felt like in some of my own places. Hello, Cindy from Washington State. That we feel very much like I noticed in my own self, I was like, oh, I feel like I don't have a rudder. And then I remembered that it's there, it's already all built. I just need to soften my own perceptions, attachments, ideas of what, this rudder into this next season of my personal life and my business and all that good stuff, what that would look like. And could I soften that a little bit and open to more what is? That's kind of the energy that can happen when we first move from that stillness and into the motion. We don't know the new ship. We don't know what's happening. We don't know where it's going. We don't know what it's up to. And so sometimes we can try to recreate the old pattern all over again. That's not what it's up to. And sometimes we then just blow past it and we kind of run around the ship of ourselves, just doing a lot of stuff, making ourselves busy, but we're in essence kind of spinning and not necessarily getting where we need to go. So if we can bring a little earth in, we remember to pause. We remember to go still. We remember to receive and to open. And then that guidance of what movement to take, even if it's something different that we're not normally aware of, well, then we can be in that place that allows us to move more in alignment. And therefore the movement is in that place that's actually balanced and serving the new growth cycle versus the old. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, I don't ever forget about y'all. You are going into that fall energy. So you're coming out of that fast moving, grooving, fire, summer energy of having that kind of and out and dancing and sharing and connecting. And you're asked to pause so that you can move into what is metal in the five elements model. And that metal element is all about that fall energy is that bittersweet. It's rejoicing and taking part of like the fruit of your labor from that full cycle that's happened. It's kind of that bounty and thanksgiving and gratitude and all that, but it's also letting go. It's realizing that a cycle has taken its place. It's time to let that form go and to soften our attachment to it so we can start all over again. So that's the energy that's up right now. Let me give you just a smidgen. I'm going to try so hard not to geek out. I will hold back the reins on the astrology that's also present for us right now. So there's a lot of really kind of big things that are happening. Not only is the sun ingressing into Aries, and so we're at that beautiful, if you're in the tropical zodiac, i.e. Northern Hemisphere, we are at the beginning of that astrological new year. So we have the calendar new year in January. We have the Chinese zodiac starting over on February 16th. And today is the quote where we take that astrological new year if you're going by the tropical zodiac. It doesn't really matter. It just means lots of new beginnings, lots of new energies coming in there, lots of new things to start to happen. But what's different about this particular one that's up for us is the constellation of the planets that are with it. So think of planets like archetypal patterns. And so not only do you have the sun, like who are we? So the same question that earth element, who are we each individually? Who are we collectively? What is our essence? What is the direction that we want to go and to move, and asking ourselves that question as we initiate that into Aries, that Mars energy that says, let's get in there and let's spark that energy and move forward with committed action. You know, the problem is Mars can sometimes march itself right down the wrong road, and it doesn't stop to say, is this the right road I should be on? It's like, yes, it is. And it just keeps going. And so we got to kind of talk to Mars and be like, hey, can we soften that? Can we come back? But so we've got that energy with the sun that's out there. It's got that heartbeat, that rhythm, that kind of, yes, let's go energy. Let's blaze this new trail, mixing with that fire horse that we got going on. And we've also got two other very interesting energies with it. We have Neptune and Saturn that came in a little bit earlier than the sun did. So they came into their conjunction and came into Aries. And why is this important? Because this hasn't happened in 4,000 years. 4,000. So this is a cycle that is bringing us into a true new cycle. And what are Saturn and Neptune up to? Neptune is art, is beauty, is music, is celebration. It's bringing into that capturing of beauty and sharing of beauty and intuition and allowing ourselves to medicine and to see into those different ways that we're working. What are the healing arts and talents? It brings in a lot of that energy into Neptune. And there's a shadow side. Just like everything has a light, there's a shadow. So the Neptune can be avoiding distance, disillusionment, disappointment, pulling back the veil on deceptions, and that dance between naive offering and blindly following. So those two different things together. So when Neptune is present, it really wants to identify, quote, the sickness in the system. And it's fuzzy. It's hard to find it. It's like you have to kind of look for it. And every time you think you find it, it starts to dissolve. But it also wants you to find the medicine, the joy, the music, the laughter that's in there too. So it's a tricky energy to balance because it's you have to have a lot of discernment which side of that equation you're on. Is that making sense? And Saturn is as an archetypal energy, that is what tethers our soul, our spirit to this earth plane. It comes in there and like nails it down and it says, hey, this spirit needs to take form. This spirit needs to come in here. It has responsibilities. It has things it needs to get done. I always think of like the nose to the grindstone. I'm a Capricorn rising, so Saturn and I have we've done a lot of dance together over the years. And it's just a taskmaster. It says, yeah, that's great. You can go play and have fun, and same with Neptune. But there's just stuff that needs to get done. There's a rhythm, there's a heartbeat, there's work to do, and there's things that you've got to get done. You can't ignore. This is the things that are going to tether you into your life. And we can meet those things with kind of nose to the grindstone, feeling very burdened by it. This is the sign for responsibility in American Sign Language. And it's like kind of like it's a yoke around our neck. Or we can feel a sense of like, wow, I'm giving and nourishing my life with that work of Saturn. So that's the work of Saturn, is to kind of realize that it's not trying to gum us up. And the way that we do that is we figure out all the things that we're actually not responsible for. So this is all that inherited junk in the trunk that has told us we're responsible for everybody's emotions, everybody's things, this, that, and the other. Once we loosen that up and we go, you know what? I actually don't think I'm responsible for my whole entire heritage. I don't actually think I'm responsible for everybody in this room feeling happy, amazing, wonderful. So I'm like dragged out and down and out on the side, and everybody walks out like looking like roses. Like wait a minute. The things that I'm pinning myself down with are not actually helpful. So Saturn and Neptune together is part of like an axis of sickness in medical astrology. It's like the two that really don't sit so well with bringing that together. And so when they're struggling, like that's the pinpoint, the red X that we can say, this is the part of your system that's going to struggle when we look at that midpoint and where it's landing and what it's up to. So why is this important? This particular equinox, this pause before we move into that next energy, is baked with the energy that says, hey, are you willing to see where there are things that are out of balance? You're going to have to move through deception, which means we're going to have to pull back the veil. That never goes over well. And are we going to meet it with that real Mars, Saturn energy that's just like going to come in there and just try to like slam it? Or are we going to bring the positive side of Neptune with the stick-to-itness, the devotion, the discipline of that Mars energy coming from Aries, and the Saturn in the light, which is, hey, I'm here for you. I'm your rock. You can count on me. Like that's the energy we want to flip it to. That making sense? So we're either going to get kind of like chewed up and spit out by the energy that's happening right now, or we can pop over to the other side and say, this is a real big opportunity for me to leverage what's up right now and really start to find the music, the health, the wellness that's within me, letting go of all those old forms that were tying me down that just don't serve anymore. This is literally like the ushering in of that new age within us. And to do it, we got to do a little cleanup. Then we can step into where do we really want to go and what are we up to. And to do that, though, we have to have pauses. We have to have places of stillness. If we let the Aries energy get hold of us, we just keep marching down a road and we have no idea if it's the right road. And we have no idea how we got on that road. We're just following blind orders in our system. Most of that blind orders is from our trauma, is from our old conditioned self, from that separation and that way in which, in an innocent version, we followed what we needed to do to survive, but now no longer serves us. And to do that, we've got to have those places of pauses. And that brings in equinox energy. So does that all kind of make sense? Tracking me? I don't think I geeked out too much. I think we did okay. All the things. Okay, so what I thought would be fun, and I think everyone's muted, yeah, I think so, would be is if you want, since I can't do it with a rattle, and I can't do it with a drum, because we've tried both, and Zoom and I, we're non-simpatico, you're going to have to do this with yourself, or you can just kind of imagine the sound kind of working with you. So when I teach drumming or anything else, the reason why it's been a shamanic and a healing tool in all ways, whether it's with drum, voice, rattles, instruments, classical instruments, what it does is it helps us connect to a still point of something that's a lifeline that lets us be able to find that inner rhythm within ourselves, and then we can feel where parts of us welcome that rhythm, parts of us kind of get disorganized with it. I don't know what to do with that. Parts of us sit back and say, I don't know what to do with that. Some of it even like push on it. And if we just stay with that rhythm, we can start to honor that all those different aspects of us are here. So we don't have to be one thing. We don't have to be something that's like, this is the most amazing thing. Like we can be a tapestry, an interweaving of different things to come back to that. And all of any chanting or rhythm or anything else like that allows us to just be able to explore, to dialogue with what's happening in our system, and then saying, here is the place that I do feel flow. Let me engage the flow that I actually have. And let me lovingly tell the other parts of me they can hang out there until they're ready. Right? So instead of trying to fix these parts over here, and why aren't you listening? We're going to go with the flow. Does that make sense? Like where that is. And that actually builds trust in our system, because then the parts of us that are like, ooh, we're not shaming them or blaming them. We're honoring them that they are there. The other thing with drumming is that, or toning or voice or whatever it is, and I'm also like certified in different toning modalities, and one that I particularly like is Seeing the Body Electric. And that's with biofield tuning with Elaine Bakusek and the Brothers Quorum. Amazing. You can go look them up if you want. But it helps us undo what trauma takes from us. And that's our voice. That's our body's ability to hold its hands up, to move the way it wants, to share what it wants. And in those pauses, like I said, that earth element is all about us, our essence, who we are as a being. And so anytime we allow whatever tone, whether it's like pretty like a or like an ugly like whatever it is, that is allowing our voice to be seen. So it's never about good. The Brothers Cohen have a saying that I do not particularly like, and I need to come up with. It's like they call it embrace the suck, and like it's okay to be sucky in your voice, and that it's a little disturbing. So I just say embrace the beautiful mess. Like toning is supposed to be messy. Drumming, yes, there's this nice rhythm, but ideally you hear me and keep the rhythm, and then you can do whatever you want. So other stuff like that. So when you're doing this on your own, it's not about precision. It's not about sounding great. We're not out there being like opera singers or whatever. It's actually the way the tone comes out, and it's cracked, and it's like holding, and it's shrill, and it's flat, or whatever it's up to. That is a healing tone, because that is a tone that is associated with an emotion, a moment, a fear, a worry. So we want a quiver. We want whatever it needs to be to be. If it's joyful, bouncy, Like, let yourself be joyful, bouncy. That's whatever it is that it needs to be. And you might be surprised because you might think, oh, I'm joyful, bouncy. Then all of a sudden it gets real high, real like lost. And that's okay. Just let it keep coming back in. So the rhythm of Earth is pretty simple. You can use your own chest if you want, and this does help kind of open up this whole high heart area. It's like boom, 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 boom. So I'm just going to stay in this nice steady rhythm, and you can kind of find it on your own. So it's boom, 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 boom. I think that is shutting me out. It says that I am background noise, but I am not background noise. So it's Oh, that's like it doesn't get rid of it if I do it one big tone. It does. So you could do an You can do a ya, 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 ya. You could do a You can have the fun. Oh my gosh, cats love toning, by the way. They're like, you can purr with it. You got a little purr. So what you can do once you've got the rhythm of boom, 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 you can add either with your hand, one hand, if you can, the secondary backbeat. Every heart has a backbeat. So it's boom, 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 boom. Can you feel it? And if you can't do the backbeat, no worries, because I've already put it out in the universe. It's there. You can go back to the boom, boom, boom. Ah, ah, ah. And some people find it easier to do the backbeat with their opposite hand. So it's boom, 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 boom. You can keep playing with it. Just feel into the places that your body can move with the heartbeat of you, that universal heartbeat, where it feels a little out. Needs to come all the way down to the symbol. It just comes down to the one note. Ah, 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 ah. So we're gonna try the toning again. Zoom. Let's stay with me. Oh, there is no more noise canceling that I can hit on this thing. Let's try it one more time. Here we go. Look at that zoom. It doesn't like it. And when we're ready, I invite you to finish the cycle and come to stillness. Let your arms relax and just feel what your body is feeling. to go from movement, stillness. Deep breath in, out. Just feel. There's so much big movement happening right now. We are in a time of great collective change and healing. It is time to heal that, quote, sickness, the generational trapped trauma that is within each and every one of our cells, and then psychic free radicals. And we are releasing that. And that this year is the year of allowing yourself to ingress into who you truly be. To find your rhythm, your music, to capture your beauty, and to let go that which is no longer serving. And part of that is to allow yourself the gift to be in the pause, to find that stillness, to surrender the thinking mind, and feel the movement that wants to come through you, through your life, into your life, and then to joyful service to others. That is what this energy is wanting to do, to bring us from a place of collective, quote, sickness to a place of collective healing, growth, and expansion. So for this month, this Equinox reading, which really kind of goes for, when you're ready, just take a nice little deep breath in. And we're asking that question individually and collectively in this beautiful container of what would be helpful for you to bring your attention to over this next season. So for those in this northern hemisphere, we're moving into that wood. That's for southern hemisphere. You're moving into that fall energy, that metal. And how can you bring balance in that tradition? Okay, so the first card in this reading is, we haven't gotten this card as a group before. So it's card number 36, and it's symbolism. It sits in the heartbeat section. And first I'll just let you look at the card and feel into what is it bringing forward for you at this moment. Is it a sense of peace or yearning? What's your eye drawn to? Diana, on my walk this morning, the heron that lives on our creek flew out just in front of me. It was so majestic. So symbolism is part of the heartbeat because it is the language of our heart. Our mind speaks in black and white absolutes, right? This is this. One means this. Two means this. It wants everything to be categorized, and it is what it is. Forever hold its peace. It's not allowed to shift or to move or to have dynamic nature to it where it can mean more than one thing. But the heartbeat speaks a completely different language. It speaks the language of symbolism, metaphor, archetypal pattern. So these are they're bringing in the energy of the reed or the pussy willow. And that particular plant medicine invites us into that coming between the worlds, allowing ourselves to connect to our intuition, and allowing us to hear the whispers of soul, divine, I am, which almost always is very metaphorical. And it can be read in multiple different ways. Most of the great mystics spoke in parables because we can hear the same story and we'll glean something different off of that. And so if we root ourselves into how do we best find balance as we're moving forward with this energy and in that shifting, which was the beginning of this reading, it's really allowing us to feel the different things. Some days you might be brought into looking at the horizon. Other days it would be up close. It might be all different things. That kind of makes sense? Why do we struggle with symbolism and metaphor? Is because when we're in our small self, our contracted self, our trauma self, we want things to be black and white so we can know how to show up to protect ourselves. We don't want it kind of loosey-goosey, relative truth the way that you see in this picture and the way that I see in this picture. We don't want it to be that way. We want it to be there's a bird, there's 3 plants, there's we don't want it to be anything but what it is. We want to flatten the image. And so to be able to find our way in that different energy into the pause, are we willing to see things symbolically? And also, I would include, let the medicines of all the beings that are around us be a part of us. The water, the sun, the light, the birds, the plants, the humans that might be there. Are we allowed to see each other as sacred, each holding medicine? Or do we negate that and take that away? How are we going to break free collectively? Is we have to be willing to see each other as sacred, right? Through the heart. So in the reading, the way that the 3-card reading in this particular deck goes is this is your anchor. This is what we're working on. And then we go backwards a little bit to where do we need to look to be able to reach that one? And so the second card, we have gotten this one before, is Life is My Practice. This one brings in spider energy. And so spider energy is what are we weaving? And in the past, there are a lot of webs that have been woven and they hold us like sticky tar and to this is the way, this is the path, this is the way we have shown up, this is the way I put on my pants, this is the way I make my coffee, this is the way kind of energy. When this card comes forward, it asks us to look at what are we weaving? Does it match who we currently are? Does it match an old version of ourselves that once did work but no longer does? And then the other part of what Spider really wanted to come forward with this one is, and this is the major arcana, it's in the Sacred Witness part of the deck, so it's card number 11, is that think about what happens in a forest just every day. All the different life walks through and disrupts this little web all the time, right? And so that spider's either going to have a life of resentment, anger, frustration, dang it all, I spent all that time finding the perfect place, the perfect, and I built a masterpiece, and then something just walking through, doing its own thing, took out my thing. Or does the spider get to see it as, I get an opportunity to go in and build again? Which way is the spider going to live its life? If it lives it with the first one of fear, aggravation, annoyance, resentment, whatever, it's going to have a life of suffering because the rhythms of life just do that, or it's going to put its web in a place that's completely safe, but yet then it can't do the purpose of what it's up to, right? And so we have to make a choice. Which way do we want to live? And that's what Spider really wanted to bring forward in this Life as Practice is we can't build our webs in just places of complete safety because then we're not actually out doing what we need to do. And we're not in that rhythm and we're not in that flow. And also we're losing the joy of building that web. And just that process. So each and every day, even if something seems like it tore it down, we just get back in there and realize that maybe it's bringing us to a new place, a new opportunity, a new different things. How do we want to deal with that ebb and flow that we can be building our masterpiece? Things are going to come in there and interact with it. It's not to try to diminish us. It might be just the rhythms of life, collateral things that happen. And it also might be to get us to a different spot of where we really need to be. So which path do we want to see things through? And that would get us back to symbolism. Does that make sense? Do we want to see that everything's out to get us? Or do we want to see that this is just where it is and what's an opportunity to us? And the third one, oh, I love this one, is if we can follow the bouncing ball, where are we going towards? We're going to joy. This is the last card in the deck, card 56. Beautiful dolphin energy mixing with sun and water, connection and play, right? Sits in the soul being section. And it is the anchor card for the deck because ultimately, as we let go of the weight, we enable ourselves to have more joy, more play, more connection, even in the kitty litter box of life moments. And even in those reflection moments, as we might be working with some really big stuff sitting on the side of this bank. We can do it all rooted in joy. So that's your Equinox reading. You can work with the heartbeat. I'm gonna figure out a way to, maybe I'll record it outside of Zoom, drop it in the Sacred Witness circle thing so that you have the meditation in there in a nice clean way. But I think you have enough of that to start to play with. And so that's where we're up to for this one. Does anybody want to share what's kind of what came forward for them or where they're at or thoughts that are coming in with the sounding, the drumming, the cards? Any thought? You can just raise your virtual hand or unmute, whatever. You don't have to. It's totally fine. Yeah. Oh, Diana, did you raise your hand? No. Yeah.
So this came to me on Saturday.
Oh,
It's helping clean out a house.
look
It's
at that.
absolutely gorgeous, Heron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is definitely your totem, like your
Yeah.
animal totem and guide. It's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Bridging between the worlds. Thank you.
And the other was the spider. There was absolutely stunningly beautiful web being woven on the front of the house where I'm staying. I mean, intricate and right out in the open. And it's been there for like 2 months. And then when I came out, it was gone. And she was weaving a new one. And that ties in with a 13 grandmothers that I was a part of for 2 years, where mine was Weaves the Web.
Mm.
That was my grandmother. That's who chose me. So I'm getting ready to go back up to New York from Puerto Rico, and I'm just going on vacation as of today.
It's a good day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, the heartbeat, all of it was just so, this is good. Yeah. I haven't even seen my deck yet. I've not laid my hands on my deck yet. It's up there.
Well, when you get there, it'll be like, hello, old friend. It'll be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of that. Well, thank you for sharing and bringing in that beautiful spider. Those golden orb webs are just gorgeous. Thank you. All right. Anyone else want to share anything? Let's go first. Okay. All right. So then let us close down, pass you off to each other. So let's go back into that space. If you can feel, probably should have kept those. And they're now, they're in here. So they went back into the deck. Sorry, my bad. If you feel into the symbolism and feel into that spider web for you. I love that mantra. It's what am I weaving? Because every day I'm weaving something. And I'm probably weaving with a mix of threads. Some that are beautiful golden and bringing in light and love. And I'm probably weaving with some that maybe just on a good day or it's a little dull, but then there's probably some razor wire in there that I'm also kind of weaving with. There's some sticky tar, and some other stuff. And so it's not to beat myself up when I realize that. It's simply just to go unhook those threads, let them fall out, and bring in another one and a new one. And so feel that, like, what threads want to come forward to be placed in your hand to weave with today? We know joy was definitely one of them, but what other threads for you want to come forward? And I'm going to try so hard to give you a little heartbeat as you think about that little threads. So it's boom, boom, boom. Dun, 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 dun. Try to find the rhythm that Zoom will not undo. Try to find that rhythm that we can dance with. Feel that essence of you. And that thread. What colors want to come forward for you to dance with? Might be in your space. Might be in your clothing. Might just be in your meditations. Color holds frequency. Frequency comes with emotions. Feel that heartbeat from the earth there to support you and nurture you. Da, 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 da. And let that self start to come into a place of stillness. Welcome that stillness. See if your body can settle into that place as much as possible. Find your breath. If it feels good to you, just invite yourself to take a grounding breath in, out with sound, even if a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So the big under, nice little stretch. And come back to center. And so it is. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you everyone for joining me today. It was so fun. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna good morning. I'm going off of let me spotlight so I can see everybody before I leave. So good morning. Thank you. It's beautiful. Enjoy being with everyone. And enjoy and for being Stu. It was super fun. And I will see everybody in the next one, and I will work on recording. Travel safely. Have fun, Miss Diana, and everyone else in the universe as you travel and go. Best of luck. See everyone in the next one.